What do you think the #1 thing that a head of legal should be thinking about when it comes to privacy, when they don't have a privacy attorney telling them what to do?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start with that one. I think that the worst place that you can possibly be in is a lack of knowledge. And that means understanding the business, but it also means understanding at least something about privacy and data protection. Even if in every interview that you sat in for the job and on your first day, everyone tells you, like, oh, we don't have any of that kind of data. We're not that kind of company. Don't worry about it, whatever. You got to make sure that you know what you're dealing with, because it's the only way to attack a problem, of course, is to understand what the problem is in the first place. What is your role? What are you doing? Are you going to be hiring a privacy lawyer immediately? Are you never going to hire a privacy lawyer? Are you handling product? Are you handling marketing? In all of these cases, you have to establish yourself as someone that people are going to come to. Whatever your skill set is, I doubt that you are the expert in every single area of the company and on every single team. So you're going to be relying on people coming to you, wanting to come and talk to you. And if you don't have that context that I talked about at the top, if you don't know what you're talking about, the instinct is going to be to protect the company. Don't do that. No, you can't do that. We can't do that. We can't worry about that. You cannot put yourself in that position. You have to be able to say, if you're saying don't do that, here's why. I understand that our business needs this. Let's figure out some other way. So in a couple of books, or whether it means watching some webinars or whatever else, you have to have that baseline level of knowledge.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. I think understanding your business and your business's objectives with information is one of the 2 places where I would always start and always recommend that a new GC start is, what do we want to do with data? How do we monetize data? How do we collect data? And you'd be surprised that there are multiple business lines that you might not think about that are in the data business. So it's a really great place to start, as Jordan recommended. I also think it's important to start with an analytical framework of privacy. And to me, that's realizing that privacy laws as they exist are largely mechanistic. That means that they allow you to use data provided that you meet certain criteria, jump through certain hoops, and follow certain steps. And I think if you approach privacy law with that framework, that sort of mechanistic framework, you'll be much more successful in drafting a privacy strategy that will meet your business needs. And I think that's really what Jordan was driving at, which is if you're in the business of no, you'll quickly be pushed aside or ignored when it comes to these fast-moving, data analysis practices and data enrichment practices, and really monetization at the end of the day.
That's great. And I guess I'd follow up by narrowing the scope of that question a little bit for smaller businesses, or even just smaller legal teams, like a solo GC, or a very lean legal team. Does your answer change when you're talking to those kind of audiences?
So I'll take that one first. I don't think that it does. I really think that Jordan hit the nail on the head, which is no matter how smart you are or how much experience you have, you're never going to be able to know everything about every topic. But you are going to need to have a good working framework of privacy questions and data security questions.
I think that in that circumstance, and a lean team often means a small overall company team, right? And it means that you can't rely on, oh, well, I'm the only one on legal, but I have 15 privacy engineers. No, you don't have any. You have 2 engineers that know something about privacy, right? And so you cannot wait to take action. You have to get involved and be an active participant in all of these different things, and find your way to understanding what is going on and how you can help. Establishing the ways to do that, the pathways to escalating issues, to understanding, to remediating, all of that. It has to start with your proactivity, especially in that circumstance where you're the only one there. And there are so many ways, in my opinion, there's so many shortcuts for a small team, but one that I want to touch on, and I saw that we had a question in the chat that kind of leads into this. And the question was, how do we monitor the evolving landscape of federal, state, local, and then that's just in the United States, because there's also every other country in the world and municipality and every other darn thing. in the privacy space, and then also we're seeing a lot of security regulation happening, right? And then, of course, here in the United States, we're also talking about industry specific, right? In all of those circumstances, and I'm talking mostly here to first-time GCs, you would be surprised, perhaps, at how much you can benefit from outside counsel and consultants and other folks that want your business. There are so many times where, for a specific issue or just for catching up on the state of play, where it's been a lawyer that is like, oh, congrats on that new job. They give you the little LinkedIn thumbs up. Let us know if you ever need anything. And you, in the course of getting into the job, you ping that person and go, hey, you know, we're not ready to bring on full-on privacy counsel as an outside counsel yet. But, you know, we're just trying to get our feet wet or whatever. We're trying to get the lay of the land. You get, I mean, look, all the outside lawyers, if you happen to be on this call, just plug your ears for a second. You get so much advice. It's not free. It's a down payment for your business later, perhaps, right? But you get so much access to information and knowledge by just working that network a little bit, which I personally find exhausting, but you have to do it. And by participating in these free or related to associations that you may be a part of, events and the papers and everything like that, signing up for the mailing lists on some of these trade organizations that specifically deal with privacy and security, you get a lot. I mean, I remember a couple of years ago when CCPA was first becoming a thing, and it was, oh, is it going to even pass? And what are they doing with the ballot initiative and everything? It's about 1,000 years ago in privacy regulation. Every single trade organization and association membership, all of those things, sent out 1,000 emails about it. All you had to do was be signed up for one of them to be able to have some sense of what was going on. And you can't read all of them anyway, so I don't necessarily recommend signing up for all of them. But getting involved in those ways, just taking that step, it doesn't mean that you have to get into the dark side and become a full-on privacy lawyer, but it does mean putting yourself in a position to receive that information, whether it be from those outside lawyers that want your business, whether it be from these organizations. In all of those cases, they are all blasting out emails. They are all putting on a webinar every time that something changes in California or Vermont or anywhere else. And you sign up for them. Oh, I couldn't do that one, but I listened to the recording. Oh, I couldn't do that one, but I got the download. I got the paper afterwards. Oh, I actually listened to that one, and they said exactly what I was thinking, so I know I don't need to listen to 5 more. You get that sense of things very, very quickly if you just engage with the privacy segment a little bit.